Hey guys. Oh, I hope everyone's doing really well. I'm just doing a really quick video today. The sun is so bright and I know it's creating weird like shadows and stuff, but it's the only room in the house right now that gets good light, and my lighting in my last video was not great, so I thought I would maybe step it up a little bit. Doing a really quick video on a dining table DIY project that I did maybe about a couple of months ago now, and I thought it might actually be good to share it with anyone that's kind of on a budget and is looking to create something a little bit unique for your space, as opposed to buying something sort of, I guess, directly from an online store or a cheap furniture store and just having that in your home. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be talking about, just a quick video, and I'd love to know if anyone tries this or if you have any questions. I would love to help and answer them. So basically the background story is there is a restaurant in Sydney called Totti's. There's a couple of them actually. It's part of a wider sort of restaurant, pub, bar, whatever chain, and they have really, really great interiors. And I'm gonna put some photos here while I'm talking so that you can sort of get an idea of what the space is like. And anyway, I've been to this restaurant a few times. The one that I'm referring to is in Bondi, and I really love the interiors and particularly the outdoor tables, which maybe you wouldn't normally pay that much attention to, but I did because, I don't know, that's just what I'm naturally drawn to. And anyway, they had these really cool outdoor tables that I thought would be great for our apartment. We had like this old dining room table that was just kind of falling apart, and it was just basically a piece of crap, and I was sick of looking at it, and we didn't have much of a budget, so I decided to recreate this dining table. I'm going to insert a picture of the specific table here, and I'm going to talk to you about how I went about recreating this table for our space. So initially I was looking on Facebook Marketplace to find this table that you can get at Ikea called, I think it's called the Ingo. Well, it's essentially just like a really basic pine 4-leg dining table, and I think the whole point is to actually buy it and paint it a color or like kind of do whatever you want to it. I think that's why they don't put any sort of finish or paint or oil or anything like that on it. And it's a pretty standard table from Ikea. I think it's like one of the ones that's just always there. Anyway, I was trying to find out on Facebook Marketplace because I knew I was going to end up painting it, and I didn't really want to buy it new. I think they're about $100, at least in Ikea Australia. Anyway, I didn't end up finding one on Facebook Marketplace, so I just decided to buy one from Ikea because we did really need it, and picked that up, and it was pretty straightforward to assemble. It's just like standard sort of screw in legs and put some brackets on the inside for support. And then as well as that, I went to Bunnings and bought a piece of chipboard like this, and you can actually get the guys at Bunnings to cut it down to size. So I just got them to cut it to the size of the tabletop, which was kind of smaller than we were hoping for, but our dining space is a little bit small. It's kind of in the kitchen area, and it's not really like, doesn't really lend itself to a huge dining table. So got them to cut that down to size, and then I purchased some screws, some wood glue, and then also I picked a paint color. So the table from Totti's itself is like a really beautiful green. It's kind of like a pea green color, which I really liked, but I ended up going with something a little bit, it's still green, but has a bit more of like a bluish tinge to it, or a bit more of like a sagey green. And the color that I picked, I believe was called, I think it was called Tranquil Green or Tranquil Retreat. Anyway, I'm going to put all the details in the description box below, but I'm really happy with how the color turned out. It's quite like a soft bluey green. It's not too intense, and I think it works really well with the color of our floorboards. Anyway, so basically what I did was I put the table together first, and then I glued and screwed the chipboard onto the top of the Ikea tabletop. And because they were able to cut it down at Bunnings for me, it aligned really well. So I was really happy with that. Everything was really neat and the edging was really neat. The only thing I would say that it would have been good to have some sort of capping around the edge of the table to sort of, I guess, finish that off a little bit so you don't really see the edge of the chipboard. That's the one thing that I wasn't really sure how to do, and I think if it was up to me, I would have done some sort of bendable metal or something that kind of wrapped around it nicely and then maybe just painted that. Anyway, this was done in a day, so put that all together and then did the first coat of paint. And obviously the first coat, you can still see a lot through it, and it was, you know, it looked good, but it needed a couple more. I think in the end, I did about 3 coats of paint. And because the chipboard's kind of got holes and things in the top of it, you do kind of need to sponge the paintbrush in there to fill those gaps. But I do like that there's that variation in the tabletop. It gives it something a little bit interesting to look at as opposed to just like a flat timber tabletop. But yeah, that was honestly it. That's all I really had to do. I did 3 coats of paint and then just left it to dry. And the guy at Bunnings did say that you could do sort of like a polyurethane finish, something to sort of like coat the top of it to give it a really good seal. But because it kind of had that in the paint, it wasn't really necessary. And I found that it's fine to wipe down and to use, and it doesn't scratch and it doesn't sort of discolor. So if you wanted to go that extra step, you could do that, but I don't think that it's entirely necessary. And all in all, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think we ended up spending about maybe $150. The paint was kind of expensive because we could only really get like a litre tin. But I think honestly, you could get away with like a little sample pot or whatever the smaller size is that it comes in, because I have so much paint left over. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you guys. If anyone was looking for like maybe an alternative for a dining table and a pretty easy DIY project, I know that it can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes doing DIY, and it can look a bit hodgepodge and not really like turn out how you envision. But it's a good alternative, even if it is just for like a temporary dining table. If you're maybe waiting to purchase one that's maybe more of an investment piece, this might be a good interim one. Again, you don't have to use the Ikea table base, even if you have an old timber table lying around, or one that maybe if you need one that's a little bit bigger, I think that's totally fine as well. It's just about making sure that the top piece, the surface, like the chipboard, fits in one piece, because I don't think it would look very nice with like joins on it. But yes, I thought I would share that with you guys, and I'll insert like a little video montage of kind of how the table turned out. And if anyone tries this, let me know. I'd love to get your opinions on how it turned out, what you would do differently. When you start to layer things on the table, that's when it like really comes to life. So yes, that was just my short little DIY, a bit all over the place tutorial on a dining table that I did when I had a few days off work. And as I said, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Spiel over. So thanks guys for watching. Until the next video, have a great day and I'll see you then.